Welcome to Wesley Impact. I'm Keith Garner. Have you ever stopped to consider the significance of the colour of people's clothing? I'm glad you're able to join us today. At Wesley Mission, we work with people from all walks of life. Some people come to us looking to work with us, and some want to be prepared to volunteer their time and make a positive impact in their community. Others come to us in need, looking for someone to offer a helping hand and perhaps someone to guide and offer direction through a tough patch of life. Whatever the story, whatever the circumstance, Wesley Mission is there to help, whatever and however we can. Much of our work with young females in particular is in the area of abuse. Emotional, physical, verbal and psychological abuse from a young age can have such a negative impact upon people, both male and females, and how they view themselves in the years that follow. One lady who's overcome the abuse suffered in childhood and who's now working to help address the issue and encourage others to do the same is one who's acting as a public speaker and a writer of a book that's just before us now, My Purple Pants, Samantha Jackel. As a child, Samantha suffered abuse from family and friends, and through the loving words of Christian people and a pair of purple pants, she found her identity in Christ and a renewed passion and purpose for life. I'm looking forward to speaking with Samantha a little later in the show and asking about the significance of those purple pants worth waiting for. I'll also be joined by Jordan Warner, who will sing an original song relevant to today's episode, Battle Scars. And I'll share some thoughts from Luke 13, when Jesus is at the synagogue on the Sabbath. He's brought face to face with the need of someone who's been ill for 18 years. Her condition was parlous and she needed help. I mentioned earlier that Wesley Mission works with people from all walks of life and provides help in different circumstances wherever we can. We encourage people who come our way to find a purpose and meaning for their lives and to go on to make a positive influence in the lives of those around them. One such person is David. He came to us through Wesley Edward Eager Lodge, then going through a tough period of his life. Now he has found his life back on track, and this is his story.
The first day I met the workers, they were 4 o'clock in the morning, 4 a.m. on a cold morning. We were all shuffled and scuffling underneath the tables, hiding away from these people that were annoying us. But two particular ladies, they came to me 3 times and they said to me, "Would you come with us now?" I went, "Well, I'll come with you right now." I had no idea where I was going. We ended up at a place called Eager Lodge. Within 10 minutes, they had a room set up for me. And I went straight to this room. It was a quiet room. It had a bed, single. Most people will go, "Ew," but when you're homeless, you go, sigh of relief, happiness. It was all new to me, but I needed to get myself together and change, make a change, which I did that day through those 2 girls. I actually owe them my life. I had a lot of things to deal with. It was like an onion, layers and layers of stuff which had to be dealt with. They had different plans to deal with these types of problems that homeless people have. My problem was probably not all the above, but just a few minor ones. But the matter of the fact was, homelessness is homelessness, and why are you homeless? They tune in on the problem that you have, the individuals have, and then they help you from there. They take it from there, the services that you may need to be provided with. But the lodge helped me to get back up on my feet. It took a while. The onion layers are still there, but you deal with them one at a time, and as they drop off, transformation becomes real. It's a journey. It doesn't stop. My passion is cooking. I'm learning to be a chef. The hole I dug myself into is the hole I want to dig myself out of. I want to provide for myself in the future. Grab the time that you have now and utilize it, because it's here today and gone tomorrow. I'm pretty positive about the future. You got to create what positive things you have. Walk your walk, talk it, keep it simple, keep it straight. Smile in between. And hope for things in the future for others that are less fortunate than where I came from.
If you would like to learn more about Wesley Mission, visit wesleymission.org.au. You can find help in our community services, connect with our church and congregations, discover a volunteer role that suits you, stay up to date on the latest news and information, donate to support our work, and help make a positive difference in your community. You can also connect with us on social media and subscribe to receive the latest news and information about Wesley Mission directly into your inbox. Visit wesleymission.org.au.
Now, please don't hesitate to reach out and be in touch with us if we can help you in any way, or a loved one for that matter. Or if you'd like to know more information on the work we do all year round, the contact details are once again on the screen now. Samantha Jackel is now a public speaker. She's written this book called My Purple Pants, which has been translated into a number of languages and has been recently recognised with the title of Barnardos Mother of the Year in Victoria. Now, by her own admission, she never imagined that this would be her story. Samantha, it's a delight to have you on the programme. Thank you for being with us.
No, thank you.
You're now achieving a lot through your life, but you never imagined that that would be the case, did you?
No. In actual fact, I think if you had have spoken to me when I was young, I wouldn't even think I would be here today. I would have thought that my life would have ended tragically at a young age.
Mm-hmm. How would you describe your childhood?
Chaotic, abusive. So my father was a very abusive man physically. He was a drunk, he was an alcoholic, and he was in and out of prison and psych wards. My mum was a very manipulative lady, a liar, compulsive liar. And eventually Mum would turn into someone that I would become very scared of. And she would begin to sexually abuse me.
So if you talked about abuse, we naturally think, don't we, that this is the man. We don't think of it as the woman, do we?
Yeah, we never think of it as a woman. So even as a kid, I'd get often asked, is my stepfather or is my stepbrothers touching me or playing with me in a way they shouldn't be? And I would always look at them surprised. I loved my stepfather and say, no, there's no way he would touch me. But no one inquired about my mum.
And along your journey, you had this encounter with a Christian woman from the Salvation Army. Tell us how that works out and how the purple pants become part of the story.
Yeah. Look, I was 5 and my mum and dad were yelling all the time. So as a 5-year-old, I packed a suitcase and decided to run away from home. And ran out the front door and around the corner and went smack bang into a lady that was dressed in black. I just remember seeing this figure that was in black in a skirt, and she had a little red thing on her hat holding newspapers. And she looked at me and asked where I was going, and I just looked at her scared. And she bent down and she said, may the Lord be with you always. And at that point my sister yelled at me to come back to the house. So I ran back to my sister. But her words rang in my ears as that little 5-year-old forevermore.
Now, what about these purple pants?
Yeah, well, look, that happened a little bit later on when I was 13. The abuse at home was really bad. It was not verbal, it was sexual. And so I had saved up $6 and decided to buy myself a brand new pair of pants and rode my bike down the street. Tried them on in a shop, these beautiful purple corduroy pants, and went to the counter to buy them, and they were way more than my $6. So I decided to lay by them and rode my bike all the way home. And on the way home I was thinking how stupid I was, because I was never going to be able to pick them up. And I got home and was outside in my backyard, and my mother called to me and said that there was a bang at the door and I should answer it. So I ran to the front door and no one was in the street. There was silence in our street. Now, I lived in an area that was full of domestic violence. It was always noises going on.
Silence was strange.
Yeah. And I looked down, there was a paper bag there, and it had Samantha on it. And so I bent down and opened it, and to my surprise, it was this pair of purple pants. And so I jumped on my bike and rode all the way back down the street and asked the lady, you know, who bought my pants for me? And she looked at me really strangely and said, you did. You came back in and bought the pants. So I'm not sure who bought the pants, but I do know that just showed me that this God loved me. And even though my life was in chaos, and even though I was in pain, there was a God that loved me so much that he would
it
give
symbolises
me.
that love that's shown to you.
Yeah.
And it changed the course of your life, and you've been involved in helping others now.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of my passions is making sure people aren't defined by the way they've been brought up or what's happened, but finding forgiveness in Christ and allowing Christ to define who you are.
So important, isn't it? How did the book come about?
Yeah, look, it was a big thank you. I think if you talk to people that are abused, we always want to thank those that helped us. We don't feel like we can thank them enough. So it was my way of thanking all the people along the way. And making that a public thank you.
But that's wonderful. Will you stay with me? I want to continue that conversation just a little later on in the show. So please welcome now Jordan Warner to sing a song that I think appropriate for today, Battle Scars.
There's a battle raging over me. There's a war for my heart. You've already won the victory, and you wear my battle scars. In the struggle that my eyes don't see, you were rolling back the dark. There's no power or authority that can keep me from your love. And my heart won't cease to sing your praise, my overcomer. All my days, let all my life exalt the name above all other names. Yes, my heart won't cease to sing your praise, my overcomer. All my days, let all my life exalt the name above all other names. Jesus, you're my victory and my only hope. I will follow where you lead. I am yours alone. Jesus, you're my victory and my only hope. I will follow where you lead. I am yours alone, and my heart won't cease to sing your praise, my overcomer. All my days, let all my life exalt the name above all other names. Yes, my heart won't cease to sing your praise, my overcomer. All my days, let all my life exalt the name above all other names. Jesus, you're my victory
Over the years of Wesley Impact, Keith Garner has had hundreds of conversations sharing stories of hope, resilience, love and the Christian faith. Perspectives on Faith and Leadership is a collection of inspiring and insightful conversations with people who are leaders in their field, including the New South Wales Police Commissioner Andrew Scipione, CEO of Lifeline Australia John Brogden, the inventor of the cochlear ear implant Professor Graham Clark, founder of Shed Happens Ian Watto Watson, respected Australian journalist Lee Hatcher, and the former Chief Inspector of the New South Wales Police Gary Raymond. Each conversation shares a unique perspective on leadership and the achievements of notable community leaders, and collectively presents a broad cross-section of leadership styles that have brought positive social change. Perspectives on Faith and Leadership is the first instalment of a 3-part series and is available now from Wesley Mission. To find out more, contact Wesley Mission on 02 9263 5555 or email impacttv@wesleymission.org.au.
So Jesus is in the synagogue teaching. We're not told which, but that it was one of the synagogues. It was a normal practice for him. Luke has a great interest in groups who are marginalised by their situation and their condition. So it's a woman who is crippled that comes to Jesus. Let me read to you from Luke 13, verses 10 through to 17. On a Sabbath, Jesus was teaching in one of the synagogues, and a woman who was there had been crippled by a spirit for 18 years. She was bent over, could not straighten up at all. When Jesus saw her, he called her forward and said to her, "Woman, you are set free from your infirmity." Then he put his hands on her, and immediately she straightened up and praised God. Indignant because Jesus had healed on the Sabbath, the synagogue leader said to the people, "There are 6 days for work, so come and be healed on those days, not on the Sabbath." The Lord answered him, "You hypocrites, doesn't each one of you on the Sabbath untie your ox or donkey from the stall and lead it out to give it water? Then should not this woman, a daughter of Abraham, who Satan has kept bound for 18 long years, be set free on the Sabbath day from what bound her?" When he said all this, all his opponents were humiliated, but the people were delighted with all the wonderful things he was doing. Luke explains her condition as crippled by a spirit for 18 years. Now, I don't fully understand this. I don't pretend to understand what that means, but it seems to me that there are a couple of things that need to be said. One is that it has been a long-standing illness, 18 years. That's a phenomenal period of time. And somehow her spirit is caught up with this thing that cut her off from all people. There's something about what happens here. We're told that Jesus saw her. He identified her. He called her forward, and he spoke healing to her. He touched her, and she immediately stood erect and praised God. It's a wonderful picture, really, of Jesus noticing and calling her forward and then telling her that she's healed. The need to be free is there for all of us. But for a woman in this situation, the need was so powerfully true. Truth and love bring healing. There's something really happening here. Brother Lawrence, in The Practice of the Presence of God, wrote this: "I wish you could convince yourself that God is often, in some sense, nearer to us and more effectually present with us in sickness than in health." You see, Jesus met this woman in her need. Now, I like that. It wasn't something that he just recognized. He actually met her at that point of need. And that's how it is for so many people. In the lovely story that we're listening to in the show today, we know that for Samantha, there's this real sense in which whatever her situation was, God was meeting her there in the middle of it. And whether it's providing a pair of trousers or whatever happens in life, that's where God meets us. He doesn't somehow do it distant from us, but in the middle of it. And I like the picture. She stood up erect after 18 years. This was a moment of great grace. Grace being that which we don't deserve, the unearned merit and love of God at work in her life. And that certainly was true. She didn't imagine, I'm sure, when she went along to the synagogue that morning, that there was going to be the kind of healing that was happening that Jesus brought to her life. But certainly it made such a transformation to her that when she stands up, everybody will be able to notice that. Something powerful has happened, that she'll never be the same ever again after this moment of the healing grace of Jesus Christ. And also you can imagine what it did to all those people around. We have so much, and I'm not going to concentrate on this greatly this morning, but I'd want to say to you, isn't it something that the religious leaders were so angry at all this? Something positive and good and real and true, and all they were bothered about was the calendar and the day of the week. And there is something in the teaching of Jesus that really shows him active, even on that day, which is a day of rest. At the day of rest, there is healing in the fullest sense for this woman. What does it say to any of us? Well, it tells us Jesus can meet us, and he can meet you wherever you are. And whatever your situation, it may be very, very different than a woman that is crippled. It may be something deep in your life, but you can be absolutely certain that God meets you at that point of need. And he meets you immediately. And he recognizes you, and he reaches out to you. Of course, you go to the place where you can be blessed, but it's God who reaches out to you, and in that moment brings something of his presence, something of his power, something of his touch, and something of his healing. You know, there's something absolutely splendid about this account. Luke has got this great interest in women, in people who are sick, people on the margins, and he's got this fantastic picture of the healing grace of God in the teaching of Jesus, in the actions of Jesus. And there's no doubt, whatever we do as we read this story, we recognize it. It is a moment of great grace.
If you would like to contact Keith and find out more about today's program, write to us at Wesley Mission, Post Office Box A 5555, Sydney South 1235, or you can send us an email to impacttv@wesleymission.org.au. On our website, you can catch up on past episodes of Wesley Impact, find out more about our work, read online magazines and articles, and connect with us on social media. You can also connect through Keith's blog and stay up to date on all the latest news and information from Wesley Mission, wesleymission.org.au.
Now, don't hesitate to be in touch if we can help you or a loved one in any way. The details are once again on the screen for you. There's always something happening in the life of Wesley Mission. Let's take a look together.
The annual Blackmores Sydney Running Festival is coming up on Sunday the 15th of September. Every event of the day is a great opportunity to help Wesley Mission raise funds for our many homelessness services. Wesley Mission is holding a Wills Day on Thursday the 29th of August at the Penrith RSL Club, where you can have your will professionally prepared by an independent solicitor from as little as $60. Wesley Life Force is holding 2 memorial services in September to remember those lost to suicide. The first one is the annual Darwin service at the Royal Flying Doctor Service Tourist Facility starting at 12 p.m. The second is the annual Sydney Memorial Service on Thursday the 12th of September at the Sydney Opera House.
Thank you for being with us today. My guest has been a childhood abuse survivor, now public speaker, Samantha Jackel. Samantha, to people listening, if there is somebody sharing with us, and there often are people in these situations, been a victim of abuse or who have a loved one who's been abused and is battling to overcome that experience, what would you say to them?
Look, I think forgiveness, and I think you can only have forgiveness when you know the forgiver. And true forgiveness will set you free from all those things of the past. It doesn't take away the memories, but it brings a healing to every part of your being, and it restores you and allows you to be defined by Christ, not by your situation.
And that leads me on just to ask one final question. How has the Christian faith influenced your story?
Oh, completely influenced. It's transformed my life. God completely transformed this girl's life. And like I said at the beginning, I didn't think I would be here. And he has completely transformed it to me being an incredibly happy woman inside, but transformed my family, my marriage, my children's lives. So, you know, it's been 100% all God.
So you're now defined by that, and we're delighted about that. Thank you for sharing your story with us, Samantha. Hope you found that story inspiring and beneficial in some way. If you'd like to speak to someone or find help, then please don't hesitate to be in touch. Contact details on the screen. And if you'd like to speak, don't forget Lifeline is on 13 11 14. Thank you for being with us today. See you next week.
Wesley Mission walks alongside people of all ages struggling with homelessness, addictions, mental health issues and financial stress. To find out more, visit wesleymission.org.au.